You know, I feel the love.
You should feel
Love
the
is in
love.
the air tonight, apparently.
You
Love
ever
is
think
in
it's
the
terrible, bro, back?
air tonight. No, no.
I'm sitting here, right, just trying to read stuff before the show. Derpy, is in the Zoom meeting. He has the whiteboard up, writing "Mike is bald," like it was like a breaking news. Mike is bald.
Oh,
Breaking news. Derpy!
I like it. I like it a lot. Good morning, everybody. Welcome back. Welcome back to the show. Already, Mike is in rare form. Derpy is in rare form, ready to go. This is Thursday. We got a big game, guys. Just days away, just a few days away. We have Super Bowl 58. This is a showdown between AFC and NFC champions, Kansas City Chiefs, and the San Francisco 49ers.
Mhm.
It is a rematch from 4 years ago, Super Bowl 54, which I'm never a big fan of Super Bowl rematches.
Yeah.
But you know what? This is okay. I guess a 49ers Chiefs rematch is all right. Um,
Yeah.
but
I'm
this is
okay
this
with it.
it's gonna be, and on paper, you look at this team that San Francisco has, guys, they're loaded. I mean, in theory, this should
It's
be a game that
completely
San
different.
Francisco could that I could say easily win. However, when you have Patrick Mahomes
Yeah.
on the other side, it's never easy. And
It's
it's basically this really good stacked team against Patrick Mahomes. And somehow Patrick Mahomes might win. So
Yeah.
this game is interesting to me. And this is going to lead to the Throwback Thursday question here in a little bit. But Mike, just give me your general overall take and summary, and what it is about this Super Bowl that you like, and what you can't wait to see in this game.
Um, if San Francisco's defense comes out playing the way they can play, I think it's going to be a very, very tight game because Kansas City's defense has been playing well all year as
I mean, if you
well,
shut
and they're
down
very
Travis
underrated.
Kelsey, isn't Kansas City in trouble?
Yeah, if you can shut down Kelsey, because their receivers are not that good. They turned it on a little bit in the playoffs, but overall, man, this year it's been a down year for that offense. And what the last game, the rushing attack, they averaged what two yards a carry. They ran the ball a lot to establish play action and keep the Ravens honest, but eh, they're pretty much one dimensional offense, offensively. And like you said, they shut down Kettle, excuse me, Kelsey. You you put a lot of pressure on those receivers, and all year they haven't been playing well. You got Kadarius Tony. They don't know if he's going to play or not, but if he plays, that might actually be a hindrance to the team. So it's going to be a rough game if they can somehow, some way limit Kelsey.
Mike,
And
if
that's
you
going to be a
were
tall. That's going to be a tall order, though.
if you sat down in the the war room, if you will, for the 49ers, and you're putting a game plan together and you're looking at this team and you're figuring out what it is that you have to do, I would take I would do whatever I had to do. I'd put the right personnel out on the field so I could have two people basically on top and on bottom of Kelsey in his routes
Yeah,
every
bracket them. Yeah.
single every play, and make those other receivers beat you. Let's just say you put yourself at a slight disadvantage by doing this. I
Hmm.
think you pretty much have the advantage because you're eliminating Kelsey. And as I said, if the other guys end up beating you, that is what it is. But
Yeah.
if Kelsey has a big game, there's a very good chance that the Kansas City wins the Super Bowl again over these 49ers. And as I said, you sit back and as ineffective as the Chiefs wide receivers have been, this is that's not a bad strategy. I would keep two guys around Travis Kelsey the whole game. That guy would never be anywhere on that field without two guys
Yeah.
within 5 yards of him. And you got to go back, watch tape. The Chiefs lost plenty of games this year. As we said, whenever the Ravens were playing, go back and watch Steeler film. Just go back, watch the little things that happened during the games when the Chiefs lost, and
Hmm.
make sure that Travis Kelsey is never open in this game. And I think that the San Francisco 49ers have enough talent on that team
Yeah.
to outside of that. win the football game. They have so much offensive talent. They have a great fast defense, and when they're on, they're on. I think legitimately they have a chance, Mike, of winning this game pretty easily. But there's always that Patrick Mahomes effect. But with that being said, if you eliminate Travis Kelce, I think you kind of take the advantage.
You do, because it's going to leave Rashee Rice will be their number one. He had a really good year this year, but outside of Kelce and Rashee Rice, you really don't have a whole lot. Guys, they can, if they can produce, they can be dangerous, but they've been so inconsistent this year. And I'd take, like you said, I'm doubling Travis Kelce, like you said, and if Rashee Rice and Valdez Scantling and Nicole Hardman Jr. beat me, so be it. It's not going to be Kelce. I'd rather Rashee Rice go off for a game. Like, okay, hey, you know what? I'll live and die with that, but I'm not letting Kelce and Mahomes get rocking and rolling, because once they get going, that feeds everyone else. Because now you're like, shit, we got to do more to stop these guys, and it's going to be a tough one. And that could open up the run game. If that run game gets going, Pacheco can grind that clock out. So
I think Pacheco's got to be.
I'm living and dying.
I think Pacheco's got to be a big part of this game. I think that you got to use him. You got to utilize him. Good morning to Brian on the board. Your message is greatly appreciated. He says, I turned off Ron Cook's last day working to listen to the live cast. Make it a good one, guys. We hope we don't let you down. We have a lot of great stuff coming up this hour. We are going to talk about the awards that are being handed out tonight in the NFL. We are going to talk about some Steelers scoop. We also have some news around the league. Pitt wins their 6th straight game last night, another road win. They're moving their way up the charts.
They're rolling.
If there's Throwback Thursday, and also we have a big surprise. We're going to have Derpy facing off against Mike's son, who's 5 years old. and they are going to do prop picks.
5 years old with autism. Okay.
5-year-old autistic and against Derpy is what we're going to be up to today.
This is terrible.
And we're going to see. We'll have to, this will get stretched out till Monday, because we're going to have to see, how the prop picks play out. But yes, it's true. Derpy,
Derpy's facing off against a 5-year-old.
The proverbial third wheel on the show will be going up against a 5-year-old. And we're going to see how that plays out. So a lot of stuff going on today, guys. Stick around. Always great to see you, Brian. Guys, tonight the NFL awards do take place. This is at 9:00 p.m. on CBS. I just before I got on the air, I seen a friend of mine who's working in the Cleveland area this morning. Yeah. And on his post, he says, in Cleveland, this is what is being said. People in Pittsburgh, this is quote, people in Pittsburgh are upset because it's Myles' turn. People in Pittsburgh are upset because it's Myles' turn. We're crying because TJ has better stats. We're crying because TJ has better stats. And they also, the last note I have is I just feel like it's Myles' turn to win. Doesn't matter what the stats say. This is what people in Cleveland are saying about the Defensive Player of the Year award. Whether you were on the TJ Watt wagon, whether you're off the TJ Watt wagon, this is what they're saying in Cleveland. Let me say this one more time, just in case anybody missed it. People in Pittsburgh are upset because it's Myles' turn. We are crying because TJ has better stats. I just feel like it's Myles' turn to win. Doesn't matter what the stats say. This is really going on in real life right now in Northeastern Ohio. People are thinking this or saying this and are believing this. And I got to say, guys, that's not how it works.
No, it's not how it works. No, it's like who had the stats help, who affected the game more matters as well. And it's not, like I said earlier, this offseason, after the season ended, talking about these awards, they're treating this like someone who's getting like the Oscars. Well, like, oh, this aging actor. Now, they should have won the award for this year right here, but you know what? We didn't give it to him. We gave it to someone else. So this role right here, they didn't do as well, but they did pretty good. So we're going to give it to this one as a makeup, kind of like an achievement award. And that's what they're doing with Myles Garrett. He's been a solid, productive player. And you know what? We want to reward him this year, so we're going to reward him, even though, TJ Watt has better head to head stats. Max Crosby has some really good stats all the way across the board. Micah Parsons had a nice season. All these inside linebackers with 100 plus, almost 200 tackles had great seasons, but we want Myles to have a turn, so we're going to give it to him. To me, that cheapens the award. It's becoming a participation trophy of, you know what, we want to honor all these guys. So, hey, you got it twice. Hey, we're going to give you one. You know what? This guy hasn't won one, so he's on a bad team. We'll give it to him. That's kind of what the awards are becoming to.
And Mike, we say here on the show often, I could contest that I don't believe that TJ Watt should win the MVP, the defensive player of the year. I'm sorry, on the defensive side of the ball. I think a guy that's a linebacker that makes almost 200 tackles, and let's just say he forces a fumble and picks up and gets an interception. I think that alone is enough for that particular player to win the defensive player of the year.
Yeah.
You get a couple of the sexy things that people like to see. I think obviously is going to help your cause with, like I said, a forced fumble, pick up a fumble, whatever. But if you have almost 200 tackles in the NFL, I think that automatically puts you ahead of these guys that has the pretty stats. And again, that's what's being voted on. That's what's the popular thing. And I think that's almost puts it at fault, Mike, why people in Cleveland have this mindset. It takes the legitimacy out of what it is that's going on. Yeah. I mean, you have corners that have 6-7 interceptions on the season. You have linebackers that have almost 200 tackles on the season. Max Crosby alone put his stats up against any of these guys, the Bosas, the Garrett's, the whole way across. I think Max Crosby has better numbers than all these guys. So, it obviously isn't about what it's supposed to be about. I think that, so I mean, as you peel down the layers and get down to where it is right now with this TJ Watt versus Myles Garrett thing, what they believe in Cleveland doesn't surprise me, because these people are delusional, and they've been delusional for many, 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 many years. Every year the season comes around and they think that they're Super Bowl contenders. Does it surprise you at all that these people have these feelings as I just spoke?
No, it doesn't. This is a fan base that hasn't won anything ever.
Yeah.
And so they need something to hang their hat on. They need to hang their hat on a guy who has great pretend sacks. He has great stats, excuse me. He has great fictional numbers. His pass rush win rate, his pressure rate. But when you look at actual stats that impact the game, Watt has better numbers. Max Crosby has similar numbers. Micah Parsons has similar numbers. So whatever they need to do to make themselves feel better up there by Cleveland, the place that hasn't won anything, the only reason they won anything is because the guy they booed out of town came back after he became a champion to win them a championship because he felt bad for them. Whatever Cleveland needs to do to make themselves feel better, say we're upset, that, it's Myles' turn, not TJ's turn. No, the stats say this guy had a better year than this guy. When we look at head to head, we just find it funny that the little brother thinks that, they're in the same conversation as the big brother.
They're just silly up there. I don't understand what they're doing. And I do want to say this was off of, if anybody needs reference, it was off of their radio station, The Fan. That's a pretty original name, The Fan, Mike, up in Cleveland. So,
well, the hometown, that hometown.
Yeah.
Homerism.
I think I heard that name before, The Fan. We're going to talk a little bit about the Pittsburgh Steelers, a few noteworthy stories. Art Rooney II says it is unlikely that the Steelers are going to make a blockbuster trade for quarterback. However, in the same breath, he also says he won't rule out trading for a quarterback, Mike. They're not closing the door on anything.
Not closing the door. Sense? So, if we're looking for some mid-level quarterback to bring in as a quasi-competition against Kenny Pickett, that they want to see if he is the guy that they thought he was before they officially move on. It sounds like Mason's out the door. Sounds like taking a look at someone like Kirk Cousins, Baker Mayfield, if he makes it to free agency, are out of the question. So looking for a reclamation project in Justin Fields, trade a third-round pick for him, don't pick up his fifth-year option, have a true head-to-head between him and Kenny, or look for like someone like Trey Lance, make make a 6th-round pick trade for him or some shit. What are you going to do? The only reason you would make a trade for a quarterback would be a blockbuster move to get an established starter or someone that could truly push Kenny to have a true battle for who's going to be number one. That would be the only reason I would trade for a quarterback. Otherwise, I would let Mason go, keep Mitch here as your backup, ride the season out with Kenny.
The only sensible person to bring in my opinion, is Baker Mayfield.
Yeah.
I think that Kirk Cousins, I've never been sold on him. Yes, he puts up good numbers. I just, there's something about that guy. There's certain qualities that people have that you see in them when they play the game. And Kirk Cousins, I don't feel it. And the same thing with Justin Fields. I'm just not sold on this guy. Yes, he's had good moments in Chicago, but I mean, even the sun shines on a dog's ass every now and then. You got to have good moments at some point, which he did. He had good moments. I'm not sold on Justin Fields. He gives me a Cordell Stewart vibe. I'm not thrilled with him for that style of player. I'd like to see somebody a little bit better in some areas. I think Baker Mayfield is your guy. If you're looking to have a successful season, to move forward, this guy brings a lot of energy. He brings a vibe with him, and he's very effective. The guy sees the field well. He plays the field well. He's a good football player. He, I think, fits in a Steeler team better than any of these other guys do. Baker Mayfield, I think out of all the guys, Mike, that are out there, would be the best bet for the Steelers. If he comes in and he puts, he knocks back Pickett, he knocks back Mason, it is what it is. I would be just fine with a Baker Mayfield led offense next season.
Me too. I see if you can sign him to a 3-4 year deal contract. Yeah, it's going to cost you a pretty penny. But he's proven that he's a winner in the NFL. He really did come in here. He kicked our asses.
He couldn't win in Cleveland does not say anything to me. Nobody wins in Cleveland. Nobody. And you go out to LA for a brief period of time and you win football games. And you go to Tampa Bay and you win football games. And you take a bad Tampa Bay team to the playoffs.
Yeah.
And you win a game. I mean, come on. This, in my opinion, is a no-brainer. Yeah. These other guys really have not accomplished anything. And there's Sunday vibes to me when I'm watching the game on Sunday afternoon. I don't get good vibes. They're good players. Of course, everybody in this league is basically a good player. But the vibes I get from Baker Mayfield, I feel that this team can rally around him. I think that the city can rally around him. And you know what? I think what better spit on the Cleveland Browns than bring in Baker Mayfield and be successful.
Yeah, from all the quarterbacks out there outside of Kirk Cousins, he has the best numbers. I don't want anything to do with Kirk Cousins coming off that Achilles injury.
Not a fan.
And you looking at his playoff success, his big game success, it's not there. Justin Fields, I was going back through looking at comparing his stats to other quarterbacks. His stats and Kenny Pickett stats, Fields has one more year. You take that year out, they played more or less the same amount of games, and their stats are very similar.
Yeah, that's what we need. We need
Kenny just has them in a little bit better completion percentage. Fields has a little bit more touchdowns, a little more interceptions. So it's they're the same player. So if I'm trying
exactly what we need.
Yeah, I don't want two guys that are similar competing against each other. I would love to bring in.
I think Baker Mayfield
I liked him when he was in Cleveland. I liked him when he was coming out of college. Like you said, he has that attitude. He has that swagger. And, he's been around the league. He's been to the top. He's been to the bottom. He's a veteran leader now. And I think he would know how to deal with, hey, if George starts chirping or Deontay starts chirping, I think he would have the presence to be give him that look or say something to him. And they would know, okay, hey, we kind of want to, we know when to back off now because this guy has been around. He's dealt with big personality. He's dealt with OBJ. He's been around the block. He knows how to deal with these guys. I would love to have him on this team, and I think he would be a real leader on the team.
I agree. As I look at these quarterbacks, as I look down the listed names, as I look at the possibilities, to be honest, as a guy who's been watching football for quite some time, I personally would think that he would be our best option if we could pull Baker Mayfield. Let's address a couple of things on the board, Mike. Brian says the Chiefs' defense is so underrated. Mm-hmm. They have to be, of course. I
think very good defense.
They're very good defense. At the end of the day, though, when you break down matchups and you have a wide receiver core on offense that is underperformed, I think you could would be safe to say about the Chiefs. Going against the San Francisco defense, that if on their game is very, very scary, led by Fred Warner. But when you take the other matchups and you go San Francisco offense against Kansas City defense, you have to cover so many different areas when you're playing San Francisco. Brandon Ayuk can break you. Debo Samuel could at any point in the game make a big splash play. You have to figure out a way to stop Christian McCaffrey. They have a monster offensive line. So yes, they are underrated. I agree with you 100%, but I still think they're going to be up to their neck trying to keep this San Francisco offense from moving the ball down the field.
I think they're going to be up to the challenge, especially with their defensive coordinator, Spagnuolo. Spags. He's like Dick LeBeau, man, just a great defensive mind. And up their middle of the defense. I mean, Chris Jones, dude is a beast, probably the best defensive tackle in the league. Sorry, Cam Hayward. Jones is up there. It's him and Aaron Donald, and then a bunch of people. Then you, Cam. Their two corners, Snead and who's the other corner? Derpy, in Kansas City. Help me out, bud.
Should I Derpy signal him?
Derpy signal Snead and Legere Snead and Trent McDuffie. Yes, Trent McDuffie. Two really top-notch corners. Justin Reed's still back there. I kind of like this defense, especially, like I said, Chris Jones up the middle, and then those two outside guys. I think they can match up. And if they get pressure on Purdy, throw Purdy off rhythm. You let him get in rhythm. He might not be a game changer, but he's still a good game manager playing in rhythm. He can kind of pick this defense apart, but if they get pressure on him, this is going to be a tight game, guys. I'm zeroing
We got
in
picks
on
coming
this
up, so
being
you
a tight game.
just hold that thought. We
Okay.
do have picks coming up today.
Yeah. I'm
Also,
holding that.
Brian
That's why I
also
stopped
says-
myself. Yeah.
Brian also says a guy that gets over 10 tackles a game is more valuable to their team than a guy that gets a little over a sack a game. That couldn't be more true. If that guy that wasn't getting 10 tackles a game wasn't present and the other guy still got his sack a game, how does that win you the football game unless it was a particular play that caused a bunch of commotion that made the game turn around? I couldn't agree more. I think that this defensive player of the year award is totally diluted, and the people in Cleveland are out of their freaking minds. Ron also, good morning, sir, on the board says, what in the hell is in the top right of my screen? I'm late today. What the hell did you miss? That's Derpy. Derpy is a mystery. Derpy is an enigma. Derpy has never been seen by the public eye.
No, Derpy is incognito as always.
Incognito for no other reason besides he's just a mystery. And when he does show up, if you would go back and look through the shows, there's plenty of shows where he did show up in this particular way. But yes, that is Derpy. Say good morning, Derpy.
Good morning.
All right.
Derpy.
Welcome aboard, Ron. As I was saying earlier, we got a lot of things going on today, and we have what everybody's been waiting for that I've been talking to. We are going to pin Derpy up against Mike's 5-year-old son today, and we are going to see who makes better prop picks, and it'll all be decided after the Super Bowl's over, and we'll see if Derpy is in fact smarter than a 5-year-old. So we have that coming up, guys. A lot of things. Mike, Anthony McFarland, the former Steeler running back, is going to the UFL. If you're interested to watch Mr. McFarland play football, he will be playing for the San Antonio Brahmas. Mike, Anthony McFarland.
You know
That
what?
was my team
Wouldn't
last
help me. I think that's like the league for him. We saw like in the preseason, damn good running back. Once you get into that top of the top talent of the NFL, he can't crack the starting lineup, and I think this is the right level for him. I think he'd be a really good back in the UFL.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, if he could have been a little bit more successful as being a third down guy, he could have hung out in the NFL. But you know what? He's just not that guy right now. Whether he is in the future or what, I don't know. But he's a UFL player. Wasn't a surprise to me. There's other guys that also, I believe, that should be on these UFL teams, and maybe it'll pan out. But there you go, guys. Anthony McFarland, a guy who seems to have been lingering on this Steeler team for quite some time, has found his way to the San Antonio Brahmas wearing the black and gold still, Mike.
Good luck to him, man. You know me. I'll be watching the spring league.
Yeah, absolutely.
I love the spring football. I'm a football junkie. I can't get enough.
Mike, I'm going to give you a list, Derpy, guys on the board. Here comes a list of the guys that are free agents that just may test the market out this year. I'm going to ask you if you think that they will, and would you be okay with them not being in a black and gold uniform next year?
Okay.
Let me go to the bottom of the list and work my way up because they seem to have the the bigger names here at the top. These are going to be there goes Anthony McFarland. You want to take a guess on that?
I think McFarland's going to go somewhere else.
Long snapper Christian Kuntz. Long snapper Christian Kuntz, guys, is a free agent. Will he and should he test the market this offseason, Mike?
No, he'll be back. They love him as a long snapper. He's a really good long snapper.
You get that guy, you don't get rid of him.
No, and once you're established on a team as a long snapper, you can just stay forever and ever.
Yeah. Dylan Cook, offensive tackle, Mike. Offensive tackle that you very rarely hear about. He's testing out the market this year. Do you think that's good? Do you care? Dylan Cook?
Dylan Cook, and I don't even know him from Derpy. So, yeah, he can go.
You can go.
Next on the list is Myles Killebrew. Myles Killebrew, Mike, would you fight to keep him on board?
Yes. Special teams demon, special teams ace. What? How many blocks this year? 3 blocks.
He's another one like the long snapper, like Kuntz. You get this guy, you got to keep him. They're not, they're not killing your pocket. You got to keep that guy.
Yeah,
and he was in the All-Pro game for crying out loud.
And he had one boneheaded penalty this year.
Yeah.
So keep him.
Next on the list, guys, is safety Elijah Riley. Elijah Riley. I mean, we have safety issues. We're kind of trying to figure out some resolve at that position. Mike, were you satisfied with Elijah Riley's performance enough to want to keep him around, or do you think he hits the market?
I think he hits the market. He bounce around. He'll be one of those guys that bounces around, shows up here and there. I think we can address the safety position for like his type of production later, like a late round pick, like fifth. We don't have fifth, so like 6th, 7th round pick.
All right.
Or pick someone else up in free agency of his level.
All right. I'm just looking at Derpy's avatar. It's weird. It's weird me out because I think when he blinks, it blinks as well.
Yeah.
But the weirdest thing about it, watch its left eye. Its left eye just kind of aimlessly roams around. If you watch it long enough, you see the left eye kind of moves into the middle of his head, then it moves outwards. Look, now he's moving his eyebrow.
Oh my God. It's creepy.
Keep an eye on his left eye. I don't know what it's doing. It's roaming around his face. Next guy on the list, guys, is cornerback James Pierre. Any desire to keep him around, Mike?
Plays well on special teams, but again, I want to see who's out there. Who's out there that can fill his role on special teams and in coverage, because he's a liability on the field. I'm just not a big James Pierre fan.
If you're asking me, when it comes to special teams, you make sure you get your punter, your field goal kicker, your long snapper, and that special teams guy that is Myles Killebrew. As long as you keep them guys, anything else you could plug into place. You could always throw Miles Boykin in here. You could always throw James Pierre. You could throw anybody. You take care of those 4 positions. Your special teams are okay, in my opinion.
Yeah. No.
All right.
Nothing gained, nothing lost with having James Pierre on the team.
Another player. Now, this one, I think he kind of went under the radar. He made some big plays when I wasn't expecting this year, but never enough to wow me. Mike Derpy, cornerback Shannon Sullivan. Were you guys, where were you at with him? And does he?
I would like to bring him back.
Bring it back.
See what you can get out of him in training camp. Take a good look at him, because he had like 1 or 2 picks this year, I believe. Made some plays. He filled in nicely when we were losing a lot of people. Then he ended up having to be put on the IR they sacrificed him to put him on the IR to bring someone back at the end of the year. I believe it was him. It was either him or Trenton Thompson. I can't remember which, but I'll bring him back. I want to take a look at him. It'll be like one of those 1-year deals. If you cut him, it's nothing against the salary cap. So I would take a look at it.
I'm gonna lump these 2 linebackers in together for no other reason, but they're pretty far down the list. But as you can see last year, that the top part of your list could tumble pretty fast once the injury bug comes around. The next 2 guys got linebacker Chappelle Russell and linebacker Blake Martinez. Mike, any reason to keep either one of these 2 around?
No. No, you can, like Blake Martinez. I think he saw 1 or 2 snaps this year, if that. When everyone was starting getting hurt, he had trouble making it onto the field. No, neither of those guys I'd bring back, because we were able to find linebackers any and everywhere. I think this year they're definitely going to add more depth to the equation there, especially if they bring back Quan and Holcomb. I think depending on when his injury is healed and come back, they're going to add a lot of depth. I'd look for maybe someone drafted in the third, fourth round too.
Another linebacker, Michael Walker. Michael Walker. Did you see enough from him last year to want to keep him around, or do you think that we could send him packing?
Who was it? I'm sorry.
Michael Walker.
Again, he'd be. I wouldn't sign him to like an actual contract, one of those contracts where if you cut the guy, kind of like what we were talking about with Sullivan, to where it's nothing against the cap. I'd like to bring him back, see if there's something there with him. He wasn't great in coverage, but he was pretty good against the run and everything else. He's not going to be a starter, but he'd be a nice guy to have in reserves, like him and Robinson and maybe a rookie, nice little three-piece down there. He'd be one of those rotational guys.
All right, I'm going to give you a couple of defensive tackles. Let me know if either one of these guys are worth keeping around. Defensive tackles, Rennell Wren, and defensive tackle Armon Watts, who, according to PFF, was the most improved, or the most valuable or something Pittsburgh Steeler this year. PFF is crazy to me, but Mike, Rennell Wren and Armon Watts.
Wren, no. Watts?
Same situation.
Yeah, I would bring Watts back. It wasn't just PFF. A lot of other places I'm reading that tracks players more closely than I do, especially on the defensive line. They like how he fit in as a rotational piece, but they need a lot of depth on that team. And I'd like to bring him back as that rotational guy, as one of the rotational guys, but lower on the rotational end. He's still a nice piece to have.
Yeah. Wide receiver Myles Boykin, Mike. He's been here for a few seasons. Of course, the former Raven. Never really effective as a wide receiver, but he's came in clutch and big special teams plays.
Mm-hmm.
Do you keep Myles Boykin around for that reason?
I do. Oh yeah, he's like a latter day Darius Hayward-Bay.
Okay,
not a guy that everyone thought might be a good star when he came into the league, but settled into that nice role as special teams guy, and I think he's a damn good gunner on that team.
Mike, this one here, I know you like this guy, Godwin. How do you say it? Igubuki or
Iggy?
Iggy. Do you like Iggy? Do you like Iggy enough to keep him around?
I do. I think he was a good returner. He showed that he has smarts back there on that play against the Ravens. This kind of guy you need. You need guys like this. Not going to start for you. Not going to be that third back, but that good returner to him and Calvin Austin, the third back there. I think this guy is someone you bring back.
Montravius Adams, my defensive tackle. Does he stay or does he go?
He goes. When we picked him off the Bears practice squad, he had a nice little run there for a handful of games. It looked like he'd be a nice starter, or at least a really good number two. And Keanu Benton supplanted him from the lineup. I've fallen out of love with Montravius Adams. I think we can find better.
All right, guys, we're down to the final four. These are the names that would be a little bit more impactful one way or the other, depending on what you think. Mike, the next guy on the list, Levi Wallace. I think this is interesting because you pull Levi Wallace out of there, you're leaving yourself a little susceptible just because he does have he's a veteran. He knows the deal. He's been around. You're leaving this team with a Patrick Peterson. You're leaving this team with a possible rookie coming out of the draft this year. Mike, is it more beneficial to pay Levi Wallace just to keep, the defense?
Yeah.
What do you think? Levi Wallace.
I bounce back and forth with him.
I do too. I'm ready to get rid of his ass most of the time.
Yeah. Like when he up, it's spectacular.
Yeah.
But there's also times too, like you forget that he's out there, which
is a good thing
with the corner. If I'm not singing your praises, I'd rather not think about you at all as a starting cornerback in the NFL.
I agree.
He's going to be a guy. I have a feeling they're going to bring him back.
I think at this point,
50-50 with him.
Maybe a 1 year, 2 year.
I do like a 1 year,
something short, because
like
we do
a 2 year.
We have this Corey Trice Jr. experiment that we're going to have, this season. Plus, we may hit high on a corner again in the draft. You just never know. And
Yeah.
also, I mean, there is a field of corners out there that will be in
Yep.
free agency as well. If you do anything with him, it's got to be a 1 year, 2 year, maybe give him a
Yep.
couple extra dollars, but keep him around for a shorter period of time.
Yeah, I'd do like that 2 year deal. That's really a 1 year deal. So if
Yes.
it's not good, you just cut him the next year, kind of like they did with Allen Robinson this year.
Quan Alexander, Mike, in your opinion, is this guy is he going to be in the middle of the defense next year?
If he's healthy, I think
He's a freak of nature.
he
when
is
he's
a freak of
healthy.
nature, but he's just so injury prone.
Do you think it's
It would
worth
have to
it?
be on a very low level or low value 1 year deal.
And hope that
Because
nobody else has any interest in the guy because
exactly, because
you know.
Exactly.
you saw what he did when he was in there. He was lights out. You know,
All
they
right.
had a nice 1-2-3 with Holcomb, Quan, and Landon. That was a nice little 1-2-3 punch there. Then 2 out of 3 got hurt.
Last two free agents that we were trying to decide if they should stay or if they should go. Marcus Golden, I feel that he came in and filled that role as we needed him to fill
Yeah.
that role. Many times during the season, I remember saying to myself, there he is.
Mhm.
There's Marcus Golden making that big play. Hey, look, he's filling in. He's got a sack. I personally am a fan. Nothing long term. I mean, he's
Nope,
been around
another
for a
1
minute.
year.
So you're going to have to put together a deal like that. But me personally, I like the Marcus Golden because, again, you just never know from week to week if TJ Watt is going to run into an injury. Again, week to week, you just don't know if Alex Highsmith is going to put together that game.
Yep.
I like Marcus Golden. What do you guys think?
I like him too. You break down like his stats, like see like sacks per snaps played. If he would play like the same amount of snaps like TJ Watt did, he's a 14-15 sack kind of guy.
I know.
And having him as your number 2 behind Watt, that's
like
phenomenal. And
you gotta with him around, Mike. You have to like with him around TJ, Highsmith, Golden, and Herbig.
Oh,
I like this.
4. That's
That's
a great. That's the Steelers' defensive old. You got your 2 established starters, and you got a veteran behind with a rookie behind, ready to come in and
And then
play
if you have a
whenever.
Landon Roberts in the middle, you have let's say Quan Alexander could stay healthy. Let's say Cole Holcomb. Our linebacker core is a very good linebacker core, providing they can stay healthy. Finally, the last name on the list of 19 players currently set to test the free agent market this year, possibly Mason Rudolph. Mike, and again, this goes in different directions. Of course, if you go out and you bring in a Baker Mayfield, that offsets anything that we are even planning in our head with Kenny Pickett, with Mason Rudolph. And where does Mason Rudolph in general go next season? Taking everything else out, taking the possibility of bringing in another guy that's a starter. In general, Mason Rudolph, does he stay or does he go? And if he doesn't get that shot again, does he even want to be here? Does he want to get that shot maybe in another city? You got to think of him as well. Does he want to stick around if he's not the guy anymore? I mean, he's not young anymore. The guy probably wants to play football a little bit.
Yeah, I can see a team offering him too much for too long, and if I'm him, I'm taking it.
Yeah,
Get that nice guaranteed money. Go to a place that will give me a more than a wink wink nudge nudge. Oh yeah, you have a shot to play. I would go if I'm him. I'm going somewhere else. I'm taking the money and I'm running because you see it all the time, man. These teams will throw money at quarterbacks. And if the draft, if a team that needed a quarterback waited to pick and all the quarterbacks are gone, I can see them in free agency offering him more money than he should get. I'd like to bring him back because I like the way he ran the offense last year. But you can get someone like Baker Mayfield or maybe even a Kirk Cousins. I'm for that too.
Okay. I'm coming back now to the board. I'm finally catching up on comments made. Ron, okay. Like you seem like you were on top of everything. Guys, I do want to this is Throwback Thursday. I'm gonna throw this out to you. We still have a lot to do, guys. We got Throwback Thursday, we have our picks, and we also are gonna pin, yes, that's right, we're gonna pin our Derpy up against Mike's 5-year-old son to see who could place better prop bets for this Sunday's football game in Las Vegas. Guys, Throwback Thursday. What was your favorite non-Steelers Super Bowl? Was there a Super Bowl that maybe brought you joy, maybe because of what happened? Maybe there was a Super Bowl where something happened during the course of a game, or maybe it's just something that's etched in your mind because you were just at a certain point in your life Guys, Throwback Thursday. What was your favorite non-Steelers Super Bowl? I'll start. My favorite non-Steelers Super Bowl was when the 18-0 New England Patriots lose to the New York Giants, Eli Manning. That by far, I remember celebrating, jumping up and down with friends, just saying how amazing. So glad that Tom Brady didn't win. As far as me being excited and in a game that's not the Steelers, that's my favorite non-Steelers Super Bowl. Guys, what do you got?
Yeah, that's one of mine. That's really up there. God, it is a cliche to say that one.
It is.
That could be your favorite as well. You know, you don't
It,
have
it,
to.
it's oh God. Derpy,
I mean,
you go, because I'm struggling to think on this one because there's a lot of ones that I
Derpy,
remember that I really
Super
liked.
Bowl that meant something to you, Derpy. That always is going to be one of your favorites.
That was my thunder there.
All right.
But I'm gonna go with when the Saints won the Super Bowl.
You like that one?
Yeah.
What was that? The Saints over the Colts?
Yeah.
07, I'm thinking. So Mike liked Derpy liked when Drew Brees beat the Indianapolis Colts, Mike.
God, I really liked when the Seahawks beat Peyton Manning in Denver.
That is a good one too.
I loved every second of that, of watching that defense make Peyton Manning look like a fool.
I gotta say, I was very surprised that they destroyed that team
loved
like they
every
did.
second of it.
I thought maybe there was a chance they could win, but the fact that they just absolutely destroyed them was what really surprised me, and that's a good one. That's
like the Schadenfreude in that Super Bowl. It was off the charts. I was just taking so much pleasure in Peyton Manning's big dumb face going.
Yeah,
I loved every second of it.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. Those are good Super Bowls.
I think my second one would probably be Colts over Chicago.
Okay.
I hated that one.
You hated that one?
I hated that. I hate Peyton Manning.
Didn't Devin Hester start the game off with a kickoff return for a touchdown?
I like the halftime show.
Like Peyton Manning beat Rex Grossman in the Super Bowl. I'm supposed to be impressed by that.
All right.
Rex, fucking, I'm chucking it deep. I'm unleashing the sex dragon.
Yeah. Ron on the board says, come on, Cousins scores the points, but you need a good defense to stop the other team. Cousins doesn't play. I feel, my God, I can't believe how many people I've brainwashed into thinking.
I watch him in the clutch. Throw picks, miss receivers. I just not a big Cousins fan. He puts up great stats, but he's not a crunch time player.
That's what I fear.
Of course, I said the same thing about
and that's what
Stafford, and then Stafford goes to a good team and wins the Super Bowl.
I feel that Baker Mayfield is more of a crunch time guy than Cousins. A big. I'm not totally against Kirk Cousins.
I'm not either. I'll roll the dice and roll with him.
Right. I would.
He's just not my number one guy, especially coming off that.
I'm not
big of an
overly
injury.
impressed with Cousins. I mean, I understand a lot of people are, and I understand what they're saying. I don't disagree with you. Just me personally, it's a vibe thing. I see Baker out there with a bunch of energy. He just, as I said, as a Steeler fan, I think that he could really I think he could really embrace this city. The city could really embrace him, and he feels more like the guy at this moment. But again, as I said, if Kirk Cousins come there, I will be behind him 100% as our quarterback, as I always am. I mean, we'll complain one way or the other because that's what we do here. But I personally, I give the edge goes to Baker Mayfield when it comes down to the guys that we did talk about today. But I do respect your opinion as well.
I'm willing to be wrong about Cousins. If he comes here
with
the Super Bowl, I'll be the first one to say,
yes,
I misread the situation. I'll take him. But he's hit or miss with me, man. But like I said the same thing about Stafford. I thought, he was just one of those guys that's going to put up numbers.
All right, guys,
win.
A couple other NFL notes, and then we do have to move on. We're going to do our picks, and then that's right. We're gonna match our Derpy up with a 5-year-old today, and to see how he does and he fares against a 5-year-old. So here we go, guys. I'm going to finish up with a couple NFL notes that I have. Is this true or is this a rumor, guys? Yesterday we were talking about this Raider coaching staff. the team they're putting together, the coaching staff they're putting together. I see this morning that Ocho Cinco has accepted a job with the Raiders coaching staff. Anybody else catch this or
No, I did not.
I
Chad
did
Ocho
not see
Cinco
this. No, this is the
Johnson?
first I'm hearing of this.
Mike, Google it real quick while we are on the subject, and we'll move on rather quickly, actually. On the board, Mayfield is more likely to go to the Patriots. You know what? I think the Patriots are going after. Listen, I think they're trading up in day one of the draft. I think they're going after one of these quarterbacks, be it whether it be Drake May, Bo Nix, whoever it is. It's going to be one of these guys. I think New England trades up because they had a very bad season. They threw away everything they
New England's
had.
what, 3?
They're starting. They're starting over. What's that?
They're picking 3rd, so
Oh, yeah, so that's what I'm saying. They're
they
already
can find a quarterback there, but do they want to do that again?
and that. Mike, you continue to look on the Ocho.
I got the
thing.
Ocho thing. Yeah,
Okay. And what I'm saying is I think that they're going to get that guy early. They want to get that guy young. They want to get that guy to be their next guy moving forward. Obviously, Mac Jones shitted out. The other guy is not going to be their guy. They want that guy. I don't think they go after any of these people, Baker Mayfield especially. I just that's my feeling. I don't know. Mike, is Ocho Cinco on the Raiders coaching staff?
He said he got a job. They haven't said anything. He didn't hint or say what position. He just said, I got a job.
Okay.
So yeah, that's all I saw. That's the last update like 10 hours ago.
There's definitely no quarterbacks in this, and we've said that many times on this show. There's no quarterbacks in this draft that's going to be a Stroud, but there are a handful of names. You know, you have Caleb Williams, you got the guy out of LSU, you have Bo Nix, you have Drake May, you have Sam Hartman. I mean, there's a handful of guys in New England. You know, considering that Tom Brady was not what people expected, he was a 6th-round guy without a name coming out of Michigan, and then they went after a Mac Jones who was an underachiever. I don't think they draft quarterbacks really well, but I think they'll probably take one of those top 5-6 guys in this draft and have that be their guy. But you're right. There's no Stroud. There's definitely no Stroud in this draft. I would agree with you 100%.
I think they're like, if I would take like Williams or Drake May, I'm sitting them down for a few years.
Yeah.
Like we're gonna do this old school. You're gonna learn. I'm not throwing you into the fire.
Yeah.
I think those two have like the biggest upside. One, because they're a lot younger than all these other quarterbacks. Right now they're 21, 22. All these other guys are 24, 25 years old. I would draft one of those guys and sit them and then build my team up around them.
And I think, as Ron's saying, I mean, you know, they went and they got Alex Van Pelt. I think is that where Van Pelt went? Mike, New England.
I can't remember. Oh, I forgot the Patriots did hire the Baker's OC from Cleveland.
They're just not. I don't know. To me, they're just. I don't know.
It's like they're trying to coax them to come there.
Calvin Johnson, guys. Calvin Johnson, the former Detroit Lions wide receiver, was reported would smoke marijuana before games at the end of his career. If you believe
he still put up monster numbers.
Well, here's the thing. Where do you scurry off to smoke weed before the game? You know? If you light a cigarette, a security guy comes running from the other side of the stadium and tackles you, basically. Where is he hiding and smoking his weed is what I wanted to know.
You know what? Those last few years in Detroit, that team was bad. So they're probably like, Calvin, whatever you need to do to get out there, you and Matt are only guys. So whatever you guys need to
do. That whole team was probably stoned.
Right? He's probably, he's taking the strand that's uplifting, focused, and he's still putting up like 150 yards a game.
All right. Mike, Super Bowl picks. We have to make our picks. Today is the official day. I'm going to start with you, Mike. Who wins this game? And what is the score going to be? We're going to add those scores together, and that will be your tiebreaker. Mike, here we go. This is the last picks of the year. Chiefs, Niners, Sunday, Super Bowl. It's your call.
I'm taking the Kansas City Chiefs 28, San Francisco 22.
All right, there you go. So that's Kansas City for Mike with a total of
that would be the over
50 total points. Derpy, you're on the board. Who wins this game and what's the score going to be?
I'm taking the San Francisco 49ers.
Okay.
28-17.
28-17.
Yep.
All right, so there you go. So that's 40. What is that? 45 points. All right, Derby. So there you go. We are etched in stone. These are our final picks of this NFL season. I'm sure we'll continue to find other things to have picks about, but we did this from day one. Here it is. It's etched in stone. I'm putting it in the vault, and it doesn't come out till Monday. Guys, the final picks are done. Micah has Kansas City by way of 28-22 for a total of 50 points. Derpy has San Francisco by the score of 28-17, a total of 45 points. Good luck to the both of you. Mike.
Ron has the Niners 32-28. Ron and I are taking the over, baby.
All right. Mike, if you could track down the star of the show, we would like to borrow him for 5 minutes for this next segment. Guys, this is what it all is about. Today we are pairing our Derpy up against Mike's
Bubba,
son, who's 5 years old. They're going to take some prop
we need you.
picks together, and we're going to see who does better at picking these prop picks. Derpy, are you ready?
Yeah, we need you. All right.
Derpy, are you ready for this?
I'm ready.
All right.
Oh, you don't want to be on the show? Hold on, Bubba. Just 5 minutes, baby.
All right. So,
hey, come here. Thumbs up, thumbs down.
All right. Thumbs up, thumbs down, guys. This question is for the young man in the picture with Mike.
Yeah.
Mike, the question for him is, will the coin toss be a heads or the tails? Have him thumbs up for heads, thumbs down for tails.
Thumbs up, thumbs down. Pick one.
Thumbs up.
Go.
One.
He did. Thumbs up.
Thumbs up. So he's saying the prop bet for the coin toss is going to be heads.
Yep.
Derpy, I do not ask you the same question. You by default take tails in this because he picked heads. However, Derpy, I do have the next question for you. Derpy, first offensive play of the game. Is it going to be a pass or is it going to be a run? The first offensive play of the game, will it be a pass or will it be a run, Derpy?
Pass.
Pass.
Derpy.
So, Mike, by default, your son takes a run on this particular prop bet. All right, next, guys. The first scoring play. Now, Mike, this is for your son. The first scoring play of the game, will it be a touchdown or will it be a field goal or safety? We're putting them together.
All right.
So a touchdown is a thumbs up, field goal / safety, thumbs down. Mike, what does your son?
I got to yell across the room because he became camera shy all of a sudden.
That's fine.
Hey, buddy, thumbs up or thumbs down? He's doing thumbs down.
Okay, so he believes that the first score in this game is going to be either a field goal or a safety.
You know what? I'm not liking that. I'm not liking his choice right there. You know, he does not know ball. As a 5-year-old, I expect more out of him. I
would suspect that Derpy should do better in this particular competition, but you never know. Then that's why we're doing it, Derpy.
You know,
Next question is yours, Derpy. Will the MVP of the Super Bowl be a quarterback or a non-quarterback? Derpy, will the MVP of the Super Bowl be a quarterback or a non-quarterback? What do you think?
I'm going quarterback.
All right. So by default, Mike's son takes a non-quarterback in this bet. All right, Mike, just a couple more. We won't keep him hanging on too long. Yeah. All right. So will there be, Mike, a 2-point conversion attempt in this game or not?
Bubba.
Thumbs up would be yes. Thumbs down would be no. A 2-point conversion attempt in the Super Bowl 58.
He says no.
Okay.
He says flat out. He flat out said no.
Okay. Derpy, over to you. Will there be an onside kick in Super Bowl 58?
No.
All right. No onside. All right. Mike, comes back to your son.
All right.
Who will be the last team to score? Thumbs up or the Chiefs? Thumbs down or the 49ers? Your son, which will be the last team to score in the Super Bowl? Mike, thumbs up Chiefs, thumbs down Niners. What does he think?
Yo, bro. Hey, up or down? He is saying thumbs up.
Okay, so he's saying
Appar-
Kansas City
Yeah.
will score the last in this game.
So
Okay.
apparently he's thinking the score will be 22-22 and Kansas City gets the last second touchdown.
That's exactly what he's probably
Interesting.
thinking.
Interesting.
Derpy, two more questions for you. One more for Mike's son. Here we go. Derpy, the Gatorade bath at the end of the game, will it be orange or other? Orange or other? The Gatorade
Other.
bath. You're saying other.
Yeah.
So Mike, your boy has the orange Gatorade bath.
You know what? He likes orange.
Okay, perfect. Derpy, Mike, last one for your boy, and we'll let him go. He's worked a hard day today.
Oh, he is working a hard day over there.
Here is his question: will the national anthem be longer or shorter than 2 minutes? Longer, thumbs up, or shorter, thumbs down. 2 minutes, Super Bowl Sunday.
Hey, Kimasabi, up or down? Up or down? Okay, I'm gonna go with that as a no.
So it's going to
Thumbs
be
down.
not 2 minutes.
Not 2 minutes.
All right, Derpy, let me dig one up for you for the very last question, and then we'll be all set. We'll be ready for the Super Bowl, guys.
I'm ready.
Let's see. Coin toss, we did that. National anthem, we did this. Here we go. Last question, Derpy. This comes down to you. Jason Kelsey, shirtless on camera. Yes or no? This may be the thing that decides at the very end, so think hard. Don't just blow by this, Derpy. Will Jason Kelsey be seen shirtless on camera at Super Bowl 58? Yes or no?
No.
No. All right. There you have it, everybody. It's locked in. Also going into the vault. Nobody will touch this until Monday when we reveal the answers to these very, very important questions. The picks, Mike versus Derpy. The competition that I just been beside myself. I couldn't wait to get to this point. Derpy versus a 5-year-old. There's going to be so much fun. It's there might be a lot of laughter as well as we do reveal on Monday who is the winners and losers. Mike, why don't you go ahead and tell everybody about the website?
The2Yinzers.com. Over there, we got the merch store. Some ideas for that too. Might not just be a podcast show related. Let's see. We got our socials over there. Notice some more people following me from heading on over there. We appreciate that. And the blog, like I said, I'm going to start doing mock drafts, talking about who the Steelers should take, maybe do mock drafts on like the division and break down who I think other teams in our division are going to take as well. Not just focusing on like the top players, but I want to focus more on the Steelers and Browns, Bengals, Ravens, who they would take. That will all be coming up once we get close to the combine over there on the website. So yeah, the2Yinzers.com is going to be popping here in the next month.
Yeah, we got a lot going on. We got the combine. We got to work up to the draft. We got free agency. There are a lot of things are going to be going on. So there will be a lot of football still throughout the year. Don't get me wrong. The NFL is a year-round business. Plus, we have spring leagues. We have all kind of stuff, guys. You do want to stay tuned. Go check us out, everybody. www.the2Yinzers.com. All right, gentlemen. Here is the question of the day. Guys, ready for this?
I'm ready.
Here we go.
All right, here we go. Who was the first wide receiver to win Super Bowl MVP? Guys, I'm looking for the first wide receiver to win the Super Bowl MVP.
Derpy, if you don't get this, I'm going to be very upset.
Go ahead and think that over for a moment, guys. We are live, everybody. We're live 5 days a week right here from 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. If you don't catch the show or you would just rather listen to the show, we take the show that we do every day live and we upload it over on Spotify at 8 p.m. If you're at the gym, you're in the car, maybe at work, just put your earbuds in. You want to listen to the Two Dumb Yinzers, you can do that because the brand new show goes up every day at 8 o'clock p.m. on Spotify. Check it out. All right, guys, the trivia of the day, Super Bowl trivia. Who was the first wide receiver to win the Super Bowl MVP? I'll start with you, Derpy. Who do you think that is?
Do I get choices?
I
No.
can't. I really can't. I usually don't have a problem, but on this one, it would be difficult to do that.
I'm gonna go Hines Ward.
Hines Ward, is this your final answer?
Yeah.
All right, so let me lock Derpy in. Hines Ward. Mike, I'm going to come over to you and ask you the same question. Mike, who was the first wide receiver to win a Super Bowl MVP?
Lynn Swan.
A lot of Steelers. A lot of Steelers being mentioned. All right, so Mike, you're taking Lynn Swan. Is that your final answer?
Yes.
All right, Derpy took Hines Ward. Mike took Lynn Swan. Ron on the board took Lynn Swan. Guys, the answer to the question, who was the first wide receiver to win a Super Bowl MVP? The answer in Super Bowl 10 was, in fact, Lynn Swan. So good job, guys.
Don't hate me for it.
We have one more. Tomorrow we have one more Super Bowl trivia question. So I'll be ready for that. A couple of things, guys, before we get ready to take off for the day. I do want to say thank you to Brian Pasquale. I want to say thank you to Ralph Williams. I do on their show help out. I produce their shows on the radio, and they do give me shout outs. They do give me plugs. And I do want to say go check out on Wednesdays at 5 o'clock to 6 o'clock p.m. Listen, if you like our show, you're going to like these guys. These guys, I work with them every week, and we put together a good product. So go check out on Wednesday Brian Pasquale's One Man's Opinion on Sports with Brian Pasquale. You could do this by going to WBVP's Facebook page or on YouTube. It's on both of them. WBVP, that's Beaver County Radio, here right outside of Pittsburgh. Brian's show is again Wednesday from 5 to 6 p.m. Good stuff. He always has great guests on. A lot of informative people call in, and I learn a lot. I really do learn a lot when I do the show with Brian every week. And then also RW Media, Ralph Williams, Sports Corner with Ralph Williams is Tuesday from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. on the same channel. If if you're outside of our radio range, they do have an app as well, WBVP app. You could download it on your phone, or you can always go to Facebook or YouTube, type in WBVP, and watch either one of their shows. Ralph Williams Sports Corner, he has great guests as well. His co-host Smoke and Jim Frazier, he is on for 2 hours on Tuesday. They talk a lot of great things about Pittsburgh sports and beyond. I think you would enjoy. Give these guys a chance. Like I said, I'm over there working with those guys. If you enjoy what we do, give them a chance. I think you'll like them.
Yeah, check them out.
Check them out. And a couple of great guys as well. Mike, anything before we get ready to take off?
I've seen it on Twitter. I don't know if it's 100% true, but it looks like 3 Chicago Bears are going to make the Hall of Fame.
Okay.
It looks like Devin Hester, Mongo McMichaels, and Julius Pepper. He had a cup of coffee there with the Bears, but mainly from the Carolina Panthers.
All right.
I saw that from Pro Football Talk.
They're like Pitt. They stink all the time, but they seem
they
players in the Hall
produce
of
great
Fame.
players, man.
Yeah.
So if that's true, I think it's well deserved for Devin Hester. It's finally specialists are being recognized.
Derpy, anything before we get ready to take off?
2 things.
Yeah.
Let's go Pens, and Mike is very bald.
I can agree. Okay. All right. Derpy literally asked me before we come on. He's like, "Do you think Mike's hair will ever grow back?"
Bald and beautiful, Derpy.
Yeah, the hair in his ears may grow long enough to cover his head at one point, Derpy, but that's about it.
I just trimmed my ear hairs.
I do want to say this, guys. Pizza Hut is we're coming up on Valentine's Day. We had the scoop the other day about the zoo. The zoo, you could go and buy you could name a roach, your ex's name, and then feed it to an animal. Pizza Hut, they have goodbye pies. In Pizza Hut, you could let Pizza Hut break up with somebody via delivery on Valentine's Day by putting some kind of message. It's not you, it's me. It's over. This just isn't going to work. This is Pizza Hut. If you want to send one of these, in my opinion, Pizza Hut's a little too expensive to spend on the X. But you know what?
Yeah.
You got the extra cash in your pocket and you want to do this, you can call Pizza Hut and have them deliver a pie to break up with your significant other over Valentine's Day. I think that's interesting.
That's very interesting.
I'm going
Why
with the
won't you
roach.
just buy the pizza for yourself and then
Yeah.
ghost your ex like a normal person?
Right.
I'm going with the roach.
Derpy loves the roach. I do want to say thank you to everybody for checking us out. We appreciate each and every one of you as always. We wouldn't do it without you. I will get to that in 1 second. I know why everybody's chuckling here. I want to say thank you, everybody on the board. You guys always make it interesting. And this last thing that I'm going to say proves that Ron says send Derpy to Kennywood. I don't know what this means entirely, but it spins off the Pizza Hut thing and sending things, and we're sending Derpy to Kenny. I don't know. It's getting late in the day, guys. Anything else before we get ready for the take off, fellas? Mike?
I got nothing.
That
last comment broke me.
I don't get it, but it's hilarious.
It is great. Derpy looks like he should be that little puppy should be walking around, or Panda should be walking around Kennywood, hanging out at Noah's
Or he
Ark.
did the thing that you have to be taller than to get on the
Yeah,
ride.
he'd sit there like this. Got to be taller than.
Yeah. So there you have it, everybody. Thank you for checking us out. We will be back one more time before the Super Bowl. That will be tomorrow at our regular time. Come by and hang out with us. We'll talk some more football, Super Bowl talk.
Oh, yeah.
For Mike at the Steeler Central Mobile Studio, for Derpy, apparently on his way to Kennywood, and myself and the two dumb Yinzers. Everybody have a great day, and we'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.
See ya.